Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for this information session on our coaching accreditation program. My name is Patricia Navarro. I am the Learning and Events Manager at the Center for Nonprofit Management, and I'll be here helping with any tech support. So if you have any questions or need any help, please feel free to send me a message on the chat. And our instructor, Dr. Damien Goldberg, is going to be giving you information on this wonderful opportunity. And let us know, again, if you have any questions. Once he's open for questions, you can just unmute yourself or you can type it on the chat. Thank you, Damien, and the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you, Patricia. Well, welcome to this informational call. Our goal today is to explain the program that we are going to be starting soon and see if you have any questions, answer any questions you may have. And based on that, we may take around 30 minutes, maybe longer. It depends on how many questions or anything you want to explore together. We have an hour scheduled for the session. And it's I'm very I was looking forward to meeting you, new people here, possible candidates to our program. We have been doing this program for almost 10 years. And the goal that the Center for and I have been a volunteer for the Center for Nonprofit Management for almost 25 years. So I have been involved. I live in Los Angeles, so I'm locally, my accent is from Argentina, and I do a lot of work in Spanish. And originally, 25 years ago, when I got involved, was about doing leadership trainings as a volunteer for the center. And over the years, I have been involved in different projects, and one has been this certification program that we started in 2011, 2012, I think was the first session. And we have 7 cohorts, so we are starting cohort number 8. And the goal that we have with this program is to train people who are already consultants or coaches in the nonprofit sector to get accredited by the International Coaching Federation. The International Coaching Federation is the body that regulates coaching worldwide. And I have been, my background is as a psychologist. I was a clinical psychologist. I graduated in Argentina many years ago. And then I got my PhD in organizational psychology from Alliance University in 1997. So it's almost 25 years ago. And since then, as an organizational psychologist, I have been working in leadership development and organizational effectiveness worldwide. I have been doing this kind of work in almost 45 countries. I work for a global company doing leadership training and coaching globally. So I had the opportunity to do a lot of travel for many years. And I also was lucky to always be engaged locally with the Center for Nonprofit Management, working basically with nonprofit organizations. So what I do is I do coaching, training, leadership development, leadership programs. And this program is, as I was saying, one of my highlights, one of my favorite activities. And the goal that we have is to train coaches. Can you hear the sound from outside a little bit or not? Can you hear some sound a little bit? No? Okay, good.
Yeah, the sound changed a little bit. I don't know if you changed anything.
We'll take 1 minute. They're just getting close to me, fixing something. So the program is going to be, we used to have the program in person. This program is going to be virtual after COVID, and probably we're going to keep doing it virtually. And we changed the programs over the years, adjusting to different needs. I also teach this program at USC, at the University of Southern California, and I have been teaching this same program for also around 8 years. And I am also teaching this program for other organizations like Kaiser Permanente and other companies that have hired me over the years to train this coaching program. So the goal is that the participants get very familiar with the International Coach Federation competency model. So there is a model with 8 core competencies. And what we cover during the programs are these 8 competencies. And it's a very interactive program. There are all exercises and activities. I don't lecture much. I think I speak more here today in the orientation than during the whole program, because during the program are mainly short videos that we share, group discussions, exercises. It's very interactive. You need to be completely present. You cannot be multitasking. You need to be very engaged. And the competencies that we work on are ethical issues, contracting, building trust, coaching presence, active listening, powerful questioning and provoking awareness, and learning, continue learning and designing plans. So these are the topics that we cover, and also emotional intelligence. And each session is one specific skill that we focus on and we develop. Now, you also receive coaching as a client, so you have the opportunity to work with a coach, and you also need to coach clients to build the skill. So you learn this by doing, not just by learning or reading the book. We're going to be using 2 books, and one of the books I wrote a few years ago is about coaching competencies, following the ICF standards. I have been very involved with International Coaching Federation for many years. I was the global president for 2 years, 2013 and 14. And so I'm pretty familiar with the competencies, the model, the theories that, so everything we cover in the program is very aligned for people who are interested in getting a formal accreditation with International Coach Federation. So this program allows you to get that accreditation. That is a worldwide accreditation. Is recognized worldwide. So once you become a coach, if you want to build a business around that, you can work. If you are working virtually, the only limitation are the languages that you speak. So for example, in my case, I coach in English, Spanish, and Portuguese are the 3 languages that I speak and I work on. And so I work worldwide, have clients all over the world speaking in these 3 languages. The program consists of 20 weeks with different webinars. Each week is a webinar on a topic. We also have practices with the participants where people practice with it in triads. One is a coach, client, and observer. We also have meetings with, we're saying with a coach, we coach at least 3 people, 5 hours each. So you need to cover 15 hours of practice during the program. And you also work with a mentor coach. The mentor coach is a person who works with you to provide feedback on your coaching skills. So you need to record your sessions, you bring your sessions, and the mentor coach listens the recording with you, and you discuss what worked well, what was effective, and what needs to be different. So these are the key components of the program. And I wonder if you have any questions so far. So you got an idea about what is the program, how long it lasts, the key elements. Any questions you may have?
What does the time commitment look like on a weekly basis during the program?
That's a great question. You need to consider around 5 hours per week because you need to come 2 hours to the program. And then you need to do some readings, need to do some practices. So probably, let's say that 5 hours is it's what you may need for the program for 20 weeks. That is the time commitment. And it's an accreditation. So this is different than other trainings where you go to a training and it's a training. Here is an accreditation. So we follow standards. There are different procedures. And at the end, you get an accreditation. You get a certification that you can. So you get certified as a coach. You still need to go to International Coach Federation to be accredited. And for that, you need 100 hours of experience. So there are 3 different credentials. The first one, you need 100 hours. The second one, 500 hours. And the third one, 2,500 hours. And that's the credential that I had for 10 years. It's called Master Certified Coach, MCC. The first one is Associate Certified Coach, ACC. The second one is called Professional Certified Coach. Is the standard one in the market, is PCC. And Master Certified Coach is the advanced one. These are the 3 accreditations. And you need 100 hours, 500 hours, 2,500 hours to apply for the 3 credentials. You also need to do a multiple choice test. So if you apply for an accreditation, it is required that you do that. In the program, the book that I wrote and you're going to be reading is all about getting ready for that test. So people use that book to get ready for that test. People who have not come to my programs, because there are not too many books available that cover the International Coach Federation model. So great question. Any other questions? comments, observations, anything you want to share?
Yeah, my name is Gwen, and I work for for a local nonprofit, and we provide parent coaching to parents. And so I was ecstatic to see that this is something that your organization is offering. But a question I had is, so I'm understanding that you guys provide a certification, and then additional to that, we'd still have to go to ICF to be accredited. So what is the benefit of getting the certification rather than just going straight for the accreditation?
You cannot go through the accreditation if you don't have the certification. So you cannot go to ICF to get an accreditation if you have not been trained. It's like many professions that you need to go to school, like lawyers, they need to go to school and then they need to pass the bar exam. So this is something
Okay,
similar.
that makes sense.
You need to be trained, and then ICF is the body that accredits coaches and coaching programs.
Got it.
So also this program is accredited by the International Coach Federation because we follow their standards.
Okay, so that makes sense. So it's like kind of the schooling before you go and take the test for the
Exactly.
accreditation. Okay, and then you guys are connected. That's what I'm understanding. You're connected with ICF and you follow their standards, and so it would be a streamlined process. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
That is correct. And if you have the opportunity to go on our website at the end of the program, you will see Dr. Damian's bio. You will see he's a past president of the ICF. So he knows the steps.
Wonderful. It's so good to see you too, Patricia. I have a follow-up question. So Damian, I hear that your first language is Spanish. And so we have Spanish and English coaches. So would we be able to take the same certification training at the same time? Or do you guys offer the certification training just in Spanish and then one just in English, or is it only in English?
So for now, it's only in English. The books, I wrote the books in Spanish, so the books are in Spanish and in English. So if you have some participants who are bilingual and may not be very confident with English, they can still read the books in Spanish and they can do the practices in Spanish. So that can
Perfect.
be, and they can work with a mentor coach who speaks Spanish. Most of my mentor coaches, so the mentor coaches, I don't do the mentor coaching. So we have other trained mentor coaches to do the program. And we also, if it's necessary, we may provide also bilingual mentor coaches.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and also if you have a group of people, the center can provide you a discount too. So you have a group of people interested, we can discuss that to see how that can be, how you can get a discount. Anyway, this program, if you compare with any other programs in the market, is much cheaper. Most coaching certifications aligned with International Coach Federation cost twice as much. And the reason why we can charge half of it is because we don't need to do the marketing that these companies and organizations have, and there is not an administration or expenses that we need to charge. So if you compare the cost of coaching certification trainings, you will find that for similar programs, the cost is twice as much. Then you will find some that are much cheaper, but they are not really coaching certification programs approved by the International Coach Federation, facilitated by a master coach. So you need to see also what program do you get into and what they're offering you.
There is a question on the chat on the price.
Mm-hmm.
The program is, the general registration is $4,500. The early bird is $4,000 or $4,000. We do offer a payment program which makes your payment divided into 6 payments. And sometimes I suggest you check, because sometimes there are any of your funders that have staff development that would provide a partial scholarship for you, Or there's some organizations that say, okay, I pay all of it, or I pay half of it and you pay the other half. So there's things that we can work with you if you need help, but the price is $4,500 regular fee and $4,000 early bird fee. Oh, and anyone that attended today will get a $100 discount code that is activated for 1 week. So I will be emailing you that.
Any other questions? Yes, go ahead, Maya.
Sorry, I meant to ask this also about the hours, that the 100 or the 500 hours. Are those hours that you have to do without pay, or can you do those hours? Can you, like, is it acceptable to have people paying you for those hours or not?
Yeah. Yeah, people need to be paying you. And there is a percentage of hours that can be pro bono. So for example, in this program, we expect it's a requirement for you to get your certification to get at least 15 hours. And the 15 hours can be pro bono. So from the 100 hours, 30 hours can be pro bono.
Okay.
So it's always 25% that can be pro bono. So for the first accreditation is 25%. But I think because of COVID, they increased 5 more, so it's 30. So for the first accreditation from the 100 hours, 30 need to be paid. Now, how much you charge, it depends, because you may have a whole fee. Let's say that an average fee for coaching is around $200. I think this is what the center is charging, isn't it? So I think the center charge 250, I think, per hour to the client, around that number.
We sometimes offer packages for multiple sessions, but yes, around that price.
So this is an average of a coaching sessions at an organizational level. So coaching can be provided individually, somebody who comes to you and wants to get coaching personally for some personal reasons, or most of the work that I do is through organizations. So the people paying for the organization is not the person, but the company, the organization they work for. So the idea is that the average, you start around $200. When you are a master coach, you can charge 3 or 4 times that. It depends on who are your clients and how you're working with. But in the non-for-profit sector, this is pretty average, $200, $250 per hour. And you may tell your clients, I am starting a practice, I'm building my business, I will just charge you 25% of my fee. So you may charge $50 to your first 100-hour client, so just to build your practice. Now, if you are an experienced consultant, because some of the participants for this program over the past years are, we have different level of professionals, but some are already coaching, other consultants. So they already have experience, so they don't need to offer this discount. They already have a client, so they can find clients and they can use the regular fee. But you can go lower in your fees to help you to practice and learn. Yeah.
Thank you.
When you have your hand raised, you have a question. Gwen Cole.
Well,
Yes. Hi, I'm Gwen Cole, and you mentioned some of it on some previous experience, and I've been in the field for a minute under wellness coaching. I'm with a nonprofit on infant mortality and the health of women, so I kind of went down that road, went into another wellness side of coaching. Nothing officially certifiable, but just with the nonprofit supporting me financially for these different type of coaching. I've also did motivational interviewing training for a number of months and got that under my belt and some other things. So I'm just wondering, everyone starts from the same space? Is that how I'm understanding this design, no matter what other things maybe you have learned and bring to the table? And then is there a space where when you have had some experience and some things may not be brand new, but maybe reinforced or, brought higher or more information, is that a space for that in that area? And then also funding. My organization has supported me financially in some things that I've done already. And I'm attempting to go back to them about this, and I'm just wanting to know if they don't. I think I can be probably persuasive about some, but not all. Is there like scholarships or things like that? Because honestly, in the nonprofit world, you know, money is tight in some areas. So is there anything available like that for me to continue? Because I've done a lot already. So to really try to convince people to invest this much, I know I'm probably going to have some obstacles, but I'm determined. I can actively listen and then respond accordingly. But I'm just wondering on your side, is there any things that you guys do in that area?
Patricia, don't ask me because I am a consultant, so I don't make these decisions. I am just hired to do my training. So
Okay.
In terms of
to Patricia.
In terms of your current experience and then how much you can build, that would be like build upon your experience. That would definitely be a question for Damien. In terms of the financial part, the center, unfortunately, we do not have any scholarships that we can offer ourselves. But like I said, check with your funders. It's very common that they have some staff development funding that sometimes we're not even aware as a nonprofit. I know that some of the arts funded organizations that are funded through LACAC, they are getting a partial scholarship for the program. But I don't know all the funders for all of the organizations. So check in with your organization. Again, we do have a payment plan. So that also helps sometimes. And see how much you can get your organization to support you with, half and half or whatever you can get. And we can work with you in terms of dividing the payments and stuff. But we're already, like I've researched, and for a International Coaching Federation program, this is already half price. So it's really, really hard for us to find other places to find more places to cut the price, because at the end, we also have to pay those expenses to be able to provide this training. But
no, yeah, I understand.
Yeah, you can
I
directly
understand.
contact me, and maybe we can work things around pricing.
Okay.
Around payment. Yeah.
Okay, and how do I contact you?
I'm gonna send everyone an email, so you
Okay.
just respond to that email.
Okay,
Actually,
will
I
do.
sent one earlier with the link.
Yeah.
No.
What is the training timeline? Yes, although it is 20 weeks, holidays get in the way. So it's not literally 20 weeks, like from this, you don't count 20 weeks. It starts on October 15th and it ends, I totally forgot when it ends. I believe it's in May 6th, but let me double check.
I mean, why you check, Patricia, when asking, going back to the first question, is everybody in this is coming to this program already with some kind of experience? Because that is a requirement for people to come to the program to have some experience in leadership, supervision, coaching. So some people are very sophisticated. Like when I went through my coaching training, I was already a coach. So I was a psychologist. I was working for this multinational company doing international management consulting and coaching. And when I left the company in 2002, and I wanted to develop my own company and open my company in 2002, I wanted to have an accreditation to get credibility. So I went through coaching training myself. Even though I was a clinical psychologist, I was an organizational psychologist, I had 2 masters, 1 PhD, I went through the training anyways. And I was able to get my accreditation. So there is always something new to learn. You learn with your colleagues, and we always can go to the next level. So the idea is that wherever you are, this program supports you to go to the next level of proficiency. And it's an ongoing practice. I am pretty passionate about coaching because I do believe that coaching helps us to have better relationships. So I do believe that coaching is not only good as a profession, as a practice, but in life. So I got my parents, my brothers, my partner, my nephews, my friends, everybody to go through coaching training. So I use my influence skills. And I follow my parents because both of them are psychologists. So I became a psychologist like them, and they follow me, and they are coaches. 2 of the 5 books I wrote on coaching, I wrote with my mother. So we are colleagues, we work together. And I believe that these are skills that you keep learning and growing and developing forever. It doesn't finish. And I see my parents, they are not going to retire. I think they will keep working till the last day, probably me too. So I think that there is a way that we deal with these skills, are skills to keep learning and growing and developing for the rest of our lives. And it's not only about becoming a professional coach, but also how we use these skills in our life with everybody. How we listen, how we build trust, how we are present. So the quality of our relationships will influence the quality of our lives. So this is just a program for life. And the idea is that the participants keep in communication and form a learning community. So the idea is that when the program is finished, you're still in touch and communication and working with each other. And we are going to go back. Patricia, we need to set up the time to have the forums that we agreed for graduates. We get a reunion a couple of weeks ago with the different cohorts. So we are going to start doing some seminars every month on different topics related to coaching and for all of the graduates from the programs. So we're going to be working on that. Let me share with you, I have a couple of testimonials from the participants. Sometimes we invite graduates to come and talk. This time, instead of doing that, I'm going to share briefly a couple of testimonials. They are 1 minute each. So,
And then we'll get to your question, Jennifer.
yeah. Let me see. It's only 1 minute.
Hi, this is Dr. Michael Miller.
I cannot see
I'm
the
a
video.
professional coach and a university professor.
Okay, for some reason the video is not coming. But let's hear what he has to say.
Hi, this is Dr. Michael Miller. I'm a professional coach and a university professor, and I'm here today to recommend to you Dr. Damien Goldvarg's coaching certification course. I have found coaching to be a transformational experience for me and for my clients. When I took Dr. Goldvarg's course, I learned a great deal about coaching and the processes of coaching, the competencies of coaching. I got experience in coaching and in being coached, and I developed a great network of fellow coaches. This is really an excellent course, and I encourage you to look into it and enroll. Take care. Bye-bye.
So this was Michael's. Let me share another minute, very short. I hope that this time the video works. I don't know why the video was not working. Very strange. Okay. Juan, he is a graduate from the USC program, not the center. Michael is a graduate from the center. Juan is from the USC, but the program is the same program.
Hi, my name is Juan Macias. I'm a licensed clinical social worker, and I graduated from Damien's coaching program at USC in June of 2020, 3 months after the coronavirus pandemic started. Besides the program providing me with the skills and experience necessary to be a great coach, to help others maximize their effectiveness, the program really ended up changing my life, which was a sort of parallel process. During the first session, when Damien and other past graduates said that the program could change your life, I didn't understand what they meant, but now I do. Among other things, the program really helped me feel more comfortable in my skin, feel more confident, and most importantly for me, to feel less perfectionistic and to forgive myself for not being perfect and to forgive others for not being perfect as well. So how did Damien do this? For one thing, Damien facilitated the coaching program brilliantly, even when we had to shift to online classes because of the pandemic. And then also, he created an environment where all of us could really be ourselves, where we could all open up, feel comfortable, to feel vulnerable, and an environment where we practice, and then we practice some more. So if you're looking for unconditional support, if you have a thirst to know yourself better, and you want to learn what it takes to be a great coach, to help others maximize their effectiveness and be the best versions of themselves, then Damien's class is the one for you. Thank you again, Damien, and good luck.
Okay, so you hear two graduates. I request the graduates to do testimonials for these opportunities to share with people. So you get to hear from two of the graduates of the program. There is a question that somebody asked is in the chat room, or you raise your hand, somebody.
I had Jennifer had raised her hand, and there's also a question in the chat. So I don't know if Jennifer, you still have your question?
Yes, I do. So I actually have two now, but I'll make them quick. So the first one is just to get clarification on the fees for offering coaching sessions. I work for a nonprofit as well, and I mainly deal with families that are coming in with referrals, and we try to work with them on developing goals and helping them achieve them through the process. So I took a class, which is Foundations of Coaching. So that's to the extent of the experience that I have, in addition to being a supervisor. However, I just don't see myself being able to charge anyone for the coaching services. However, I feel that the coaching would be a game changer to implement as part of working with the families that we work with. So my question is, what are your recommendations is if, charging is not like an option for me? Would I still be able to get the training, or do you have other recommendations?
A couple of things. Every coach, all coaching you do inside your organization is considered paid coaching.
Okay.
Why? Because you're being paid by your organization to provide the coaching. So all of the work for Gwen too, that you are working with families and providing coaching to families, all of the coaching that you do inside your organization as part of your work is considered paid coaching. That's number one. Number two, maybe now you just want to use your coaching skills at work with your team. You can use the coaching skills to develop your team and to help the different people to be more effective. You may use it with clients to help the clients to navigate challenges and accomplish goals. But maybe later in your career, in a few years, you may want to start having your own on the side coaching business. So this is an opportunity for you to do that too. You don't have to, you may not want to do that. You may want to build the skills for your job. We were talking about that with Patricia before we started the class. We were thinking about maybe offering just coaching skills for leaders, where people may not necessarily want to get an accreditation. But getting an accreditation gives you more rigor to your training, and then give you an accreditation that is recognized worldwide. And then you can also use that for your own personal benefit anytime in the future if you want to build a business around it. Maybe not today, but maybe in the future you may want to do that. So these are all opportunities that you can think of.
Perfect, thank you.
Good.
Did you have a second question, Jennifer?
No, I kind of put them together.
Okay. And then on the chat we have, will you have a 9th cohort? If so, when does the following cohort start? I'm concerned October 15 may cut it too short. Sorry, cut it too close for us to figure out funding. We hope, but we don't have anything scheduled yet for a future coaching cohort. So we've had 8 others in the past, so we may one day have cohort 9, but it is not planned yet. Again, if you're having difficulty with getting the money by the 15th, we can work with the payment plan, and at least you can get some of the money in, and then we can move in with the rest of it.
I have a question, Damien. Can you talk more about like building your practice and yeah, like what that, like, I know you've been doing this a very long time. So for new folks who are trying to like build a business with it, kind of what you see as the challenges and yeah, just what you're, do you talk about that as well in the program and just thinking about that?
So this is a short version of the program. It's only 20 weeks. So there is not time in this program to cover building a business. So this is not part of this program. It is part of other programs that are longer. This program, we do not cover that. And I have different videos that I have done over the years about how to build your business. So there are places where you can go and get information. There are books that we may recommend you to. At the end of the day, the key to that magic is working with your own coach, working with a coach to help you to build your business. Now, building a coaching business is like building any business. You need to have some entrepreneurial skills. So you need to learn basics of how to market your services. You may need to do things you may not want to do, such as social media, being active in your website, blogging. So you need to build and sell your services like you would sell any other services. Now, it's not that you are going to, put something in LinkedIn. Now I am a coach, and you're going to have 20 people calling you, wanting to work with you. So you will still need to build your practice. You will still need to do work in getting clients. Usually, it takes 1 to 2 years to build a practice to be able to live just from coaching. So it's like a psychologist or a social worker in their own private practices, or any professional is need to start building the practice from scratch. So it will depend on your network, because the main source of referral are your network, are your people that you know, people who refer you people. So that's the best way to, there are more chances you will get client by referrals than by just putting ads and investing money in Google or Google Words or any other program. So the best way to build your practice is through referrals. So it depends how strong is your network. If you have a strong network, you may be able to move in much easier.
There is a question in the chat. Coaching is such a broad term. People have mentioned wellness coaching, parent coaching, coaching as part of social service delivery. It also overlaps with advising, mentoring, etc. Does this training cover everything, or is it more executive coaching?
That's a good question. I think that what we cover in the program is foundations of coaching. So the idea is that you learn in the program anything you need to know following the standards of International Coach Federation. So for example, for the ICF, advising is not coaching. So if you are telling people what to do, you're being a consultant. And sometimes this is what your clients need, a consultant or a trainer or a teacher. That's not coaching. Coaching in this context is working with somebody to help the person that you're working with, your client, to come up with their own answers, to identify a desired future, to explore the gaps that are between where they are and where they want to be, and together partnering to design actions that would allow your client to accomplish their goals. So it may be sometimes in some coaches, for example, health coaching, some people expert in health may provide some information, some training and some education around health issues, but that you will build over your basic and foundational skills. So before you are a wellness coach or a health coach or a parent coach or whatever specialty that you have, you need, like many other professions, you need to have the foundation and then you do a specialty. So the idea that you need to show that you can do your job and you can coach people and you make people think. And then you build on that any specialty that you're offering. So for example, when you work with parents, with families, maybe when you're working with them, you do a mix of coaching, training, consulting, because this is what they need. So whatever you're doing is you're meeting the needs of your client. Now in this program, you learn the coaching part, the asking questions part, the making people think. And then you work with different clients and you do different things. Like for example, in my case, I am an expert in leadership training and development. So I have a lot to say about leadership. But when I am coaching executives or leaders, I don't tell them what to do. I just identify with them where they are, where they need to be, and what they need to do to get from where they are to where they need to be. So I challenge them to look at their belief system, to look at the limiting beliefs, to the blind spots, everything that may be in their way to have success in the future and in the present. So this is the most important part of the work of the coach. I always can share best strategies, and I do. I also can share best strategies, but that's not the core of the work. the core of the work is the reflecting, the thinking, the identifying patterns, the identifying blind spots, limiting beliefs, what is in our way. And most of the time it's us. We think that what is in our way is COVID or whatever. This is influencing our lives, but most of the time our beliefs about what is possible or not is what is in our way. So we identify that and we work through that. Now, in terms of the specialties, you may choose what is your niche and what is your specialty, but in this program, you need to have a foundation. These skills can be worked anywhere, and definitely executive coaching will be one of the places, but the program doesn't focus on executive coaching either. It's all coaching, professional coaching in general. And some people may have be interested and they're here and they may not be involved in the community, and they may have never have an opportunity to be leaders or be influential, and they can still be effective coaches because you don't need to share your experience in coaching. It's about, I have worked with people, I did a lot of work over the year with United Nations. I still work for UNICEF, and I will not be able to do their jobs. Many of these people work in places very insecure, but I still can be a good coach and help them to identify where they need to go and how to get there. So this is how coaching works. Okay, I think we have time for a couple of more questions. Am I missing any question in the chat room, Patricia? No? Any more questions before we go? This space is for answering questions. So are there any other questions before we go? Yes.
Yes, I have a question, Damien. My question is in regards to the length of time to complete the hours. 2,500 hours sounds a lot. So is that like a year, 2 years? Like how much time do we get to complete that time?
Well, your goal is to get to the 100 hours, not the 2,500 hours. 2,500 hours is a master coach, can take 10 years.
So we're able to, we have to start with the 1, then the 5, then the 2,500 is what I'm saying?
Exactly. Okay. The 100, it should be doing it in 1 year. You can get the 100 in 1 year if you have 4 or 5 clients and you meet in every other week. Any last questions before we go? Blaise, you have been quiet. You don't have any question?
No, thank you. I've heard some of the questions that I did have, and okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everybody for being here. If you have any other question, don't hesitate to reach us. Patricia, do you want to write down your email in the chat room so people have it handy? And I also want to write mine. So this is my email, and if you have any questions for me, if you want to Google me, here is my name and last name. You will find a lot of information. I have 250 videos in YouTube, so you may be interested in watching some of the recordings. They're about coaching and supervision and other topics that you may find interesting. And thank you for your time and for being here. I don't know, Patricia, is there anything you want to say before we go?
That is all. Thank you so much, Damien, for your time, for answering all these questions, and for letting us record you so we can share it with the people who were not able to attend today. Great. And I will be sending out a follow-up email, and I will be sharing with you the code for the discount, that it will be good until Thursday next week. And if anyone has any questions, just feel free to reach out and I'll be happy to help. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.